Normally having everyone die in your ending is a bad thing, but for the DC animated movie universe, this was actually a uniquely good thing. Not because its version of the characters were unlikable, but quite the opposite. It made me actually appreciate them. This whole universe was a series of pretty mid movies with the occasional amazing one, so it never really left a strong impression outside of it just being a whatever substitute for the DCAU for me.
Aren't you worried? About what?
To the extent it actually felt like homework at times to keep up. But then slaughtering everyone in an intense, bleak, but also heroic final outing, where even in the face of certain death, our heroes stand proud, that was beautiful. It made me retroactively care and value everything that came before. Good job, movie. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which is probably the greatest movie title ever, is the finale of a very loose arc that threaded through Flashpoint Paradox, Justice League War, Death and Return of Superman. In fact, Barry's mum's words from Flashpoint even opens the film, because basically after Flash reset the whole timeline, he basically doomed it by releasing Darkseid onto this universe's Earth.
If he doesn't go back to save his mum, Darkseid isn't here.
While the arrival of Doomsday was a preemptive move to weaken Earth's defenses, so an angry, resurrected Superman ends up impulsively leading the entire Justice League into a stealthy first strike against Darkseid before he can invade. But none of it works out and they get slaughtered because the big scary twist is the Darkseid has been using Cyborg to watch everything this whole time.
This armor's from Apocalypse too.
How do you figure?
I'm wearing the same stuff, remember?
Learning about this world, who each of the members of the League are, how to take a part of their plan so he can maim and exploit them for his own gains, like using Flash as a generator, Batman as his secretary.
Do not interrupt me.
The only person he didn't use or kill was Superman, just because he thought it'd be really funny to let him roam across the planet, powerless and seeing the destruction he led. And that's what the story is themed around. Hubris. Both Barry and Clark's pride is what caused this situation, and then there's Darkseid's pride.
This time, with my beard.
Darkseid is just a big, massive jerk. A big, evil, scary jerk, whose big gruesome victory seems like something out of Invincible, where he once used to be a dude who just took great glee in just being Superman's troll. He now takes great glee in mass murdering people to the extent that he doesn't want to be disturbed when he's personally destroying Oa. And that's who Darkseid is. He's this massive abstract force of nature, a representation of what Jack Kirby believed was destructive to the human spirit. His idea of what true universal evil is. As I quote from the man himself, he wants control of everybody. If it was snowing outside and you weren't wearing any shoes and it was 38 degrees below zero and this guy says, go out and get me a bologna sandwich, you have to go through all that. You obey him automatically. You obey him meekly. You walk out with a coat and you freeze to death. He doesn't care. You do it anyway, despite the fact that you don't want to. You're dead as an individual. You have no choice. You can't object and you have no stature as a person. You're dead. A slave is a dead man. That's what Darkseid wants. Darkseid wants complete subjugation of everything at a word. His word. He wants every thinking thing under his control. And he's given me a cold because my nose is blocked. In Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which I said again because I enjoy it so much, he gets exactly this. And unlike on Rule 34, total subjugation doesn't involve Thanos' rectum, but genocide and stealing lava just to kill more people. Your despair is his glee, and the only way you could survive Darkseid is by being so beta that him giving you the time of attention is beneath him. As a result, what's both the saddest but also the most beautiful thing about this film are the moments where characters die with a smile or pride in the face of total devastation, knowing that they did their part. Etrigan is mourning during the whole film, barely putting effort in anything, but when he has his chance to fight and die against Wonder Woman, he's finally excited. His last words are literally,
I regret nothing.
Lois and the Suicide Squad, including Harley, all die with dignity and as comrades. Damian dies to save his father and to tell him how grateful he is. Trigon happily dies because he loves his daughter and relishes his fight with Darkseid.
Be well.
Cyborg gets his last word as he destroys all of Apocalypse. Everyone at the end of the line are all still brave and have a quintessential goodness inside them that's released when they know death is near. The only exception to this rule is Constantine. because he's such a selfish bastard that he was overcame by a feeling of cowardice when he left Zatanna to die. But even then, it's revealed that she put a spell on him so he would live as Batman's backup plan.
We're gonna talk when this is done.
But I gotta say, my favorite character in this whole film is Superman, of course, because he's this unrelenting force of goodness with a touch of deep anger. His attempt to take out Darkseid is basically him avenging himself. The destruction of Earth is basically his fault, and you know what? He accepts it. But he still refuses to give in to despair. He stops Raven from taking her own life after the Titans are all killed. He still participates with the resistance led by his wife, and he jumps into a power suit to see things through. This god who was raised as a simple farm boy is now just an angry farm man, bringing justice to a world with hate with his f***ing fists. Lois is goddamn killed, and that only makes him even more angry at Darkseid, grabbing his eye holes. And news about another billion people dying on Earth due to Darkseid's environmental damages doesn't even faze him. He still tries to rally people like a good community leader in a small town.
I know everyone's been through hell, but we can't quit. The Justice League doesn't quit.
Superman, it's okay to be sad, bro, just let it out. But nah, him and his general unrelenting optimistic vibe is why I find this film beautiful. Nihilistic things happen, but it's not nihilistic itself. Instead, that nihilism makes all of these moments of optimism all the more pure and valuable.
I love you.
At the heart of this film is a simple message about how the effort yields its own reward, where even in the face of doom, kindness, hope, and love will prevail. John asks Barry to reset the timeline. They know whatever follows won't be perfect.
And some of those changes may be shit, and we may make the same mistakes again. It won't be perfect. It'll be a long sight better than what we got now.
The heroes thus stare bravely into the void, consumed by the light. They accept their deaths, so a new world can be born. Silence falls. The end. So that was the Justice League Dark Apocalypse War video. This came because I just had a real desire to just rewatch it just out of the blue. When I first watched it, I remember being like genuinely getting like cold sweats from how intense it was. And then the second time around, I was like, oh, it's not as horrifying as I remember it. But what ended up grabbing me was this weird optimistic vibe that I totally didn't notice from before. Underneath the edgelord mannerisms of the whole film is a genuine like sincerity, and I was like, you know what, I want to write about this because that sounds kind of fun. So here it is. I also had an excess amount of notes related to Damian Wayne, so I'm going to put that into a Damian Wayne video essay about his whole arc throughout the entire DC animated movie universe. But yeah, I do also want to do Reign of the Superman video, so I can kind of finish off my Death and Return of Superman duology video thingy mababa. And then there's a Peter Tomasi Superman run video that I really want to do. There's a character analysis on Harvey Bullock and Jon Stewart that are also both sort of in the process of being made. I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyways. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon. Even when I took a week off this month, you guys were there for me, and that's really, really touching.